At the end of the last episode, we talked about how Ireland won its independence from the United Kingdom and mentioned the brief time when it was part of the Commonwealth. However, shortly after their independence, tensions increased once more. Now the problem was whether Ireland would remain part of the British Commonwealth and later achieve full independence, pro-treaty faction, or achieve full independence right now, anti-treaty faction. This caused a bloody civil war between 1922 and 1923, where the pro-treaty faction won. This division among nationalists still perishes Irish politics to this day, specifically between the two leading Irish political parties, Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil. This new Irish Free State existed in a time where many European democracies were being replaced by dictatorships, especially after the Great Depression of 1929. However, in contrast with them, Ireland remained a democracy, and a big demonstration of this occurred when the losing faction of the Irish Civil War, the Fianna Fáil, was able to take power peacefully by winning the 1932 election. Until this election, considerable parts of the Irish society saw the Irish Free State through the perspective of the Civil War as an oppressive British-imposed state. But now that their party was in charge, they finally accepted the Free State. Unemployment and immigration were, however, high due to the lack of economic opportunities, and the population declined to a record low of 2.7 million in the 1961 census. During this time, Irish social policies were also very conservative. This was especially due to the Catholic clergy's huge influence, which controlled most of the state hospitals and schools, as well as many other social services. This led to divorce, contraception, abortion, and pornography being banned, as well as encouraged the censoring of many books and movies. In 1937, a new constitution came into force and established the state as just Ireland or Eire in Gaeilge. During World War II, Ireland stayed neutral, which saved its population from the horrors of war. Nevertheless, food rationing and coal shortages were a common occurrence during the war period. Even so, the Irish Air Corps was highly active as German barrage balloons bombed Britain, since some of them escaped and would fall and bomb Ireland if the Air Corps didn't shoot them down in time. Thousands of Irish also volunteered to fight in the British forces. In 1949, Ireland declared itself a republic by replacing the British monarch with a president, thus leaving the Commonwealth. During the 1960s, the Irish Prime Minister, Sean Lemass, and the Secretary of the Department of Finance, T.K. Whitaker, made Ireland undergo many economic reforms, which hugely improved the Irish economy. The Minister of Education, Donogh O'Malley, also introduced free second-level education in 1968, and from the start of this decade, Ireland sought admission to the European Economic Community. However, since 90% of Irish exports went to the United Kingdom market, it only joined the EEC, with the latter in 1973. In the 1970s, due to wars and instability in the Middle East, an energy crisis hit Ireland and was aggravated by a set of misjudged economic policies followed by the government, such as the one of Jack Lynch, which altogether caused the Irish economy to stagnate. The time of troubles in Northern Ireland also played a role and discouraged foreign investment in the region. Due to this, the Irish pound, or pant, was established as a separate currency from the pound sterling in 1979, and the valuation of the currency was now enabled. This alleviated the problem, and with the economic reforms of the late 1980s, helped by investments from the European Community, Ireland emerged with one of the world's highest economic growth rates, with mass immigration as a feature of the late 1990s. This period came to be known as the Celtic Tiger, and was an economic model for the former Eastern Bloc states, which entered the European Union in the early 2000s. By this time, Irish society adopted relatively liberal social policies and distanced itself from the church. Divorce was legalized, homosexuality decriminalized, and the Irish Supreme Court allowed abortion in limited cases. This coincided with sexual and financial major scandals in the Catholic Church and caused weekly church attendance to drop by half. This newfound prosperity ended abruptly in 2008 when the banking system collapsed due to the Irish property bubble bursting. Some 25 to 26% of GDP was needed to bail out the failing Irish banks and force consolidation in the banking sector. This was the largest banking bailout in history and resulted in a major financial and political crisis as Ireland entered a recession. Immigration rose once again, as the unemployment rate increased from 4.2% in 2007 to 14.6% in February of 2012. However, since 2014, Ireland has once more a strong economic growth, even ranking as the 5th richest country in the world according to International Monetary Fund, and due to this, it is now called the Celtic Phoenix. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button and subscribe to know what happens next. See you next time!